Welcome to Taking Action. I'm Chris Colombo. With me is Anthony Conover. We're going to go into Week 11. We're going to recap Week 10, as painful as it may be. And I'll be right back with you. Okay, welcome back to Taking Action. I'm Chris Colombo. With me is Anthony Conover. And let's recap Week 10.
Yes, into Week 10 that we go. That kicked off with Thursday Night Football. That was the Bengals at the Ravens. Heck of a game here. Ravens with a 35-34 victory. Lots of offense in this one.
I think you favored the Bengals, right?
You know, this was
points.
This is a very up and down game. A lot of points in divisional. Yeah. Definitely went with the over. The over definitely hit for all the people out there, even though it was high, but good choice on that one. Next up, went across over to Germany, I believe this one was in. The Giants at the Panthers. Panthers with a 20-17 victory. Oh, poor Giant fans. I'm so sorry.
Germany. Right. Next.
The Bills at the Colts. The Bills with a 30-20 victory here. Joe Flacco definitely struggling in this one. Now, of course, people want Anthony Richardson back in. So Colts are having some trouble at that QB position.
I don't think they're protecting him too well.
No. Well, and you know, a lot of bad decisions he did make in that game too. So some of the blame definitely on him, but not a good performance, to say the least.
But the Bills played good ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Allen keeps doing his thing.
Okay.
The Vikings at the Jaguars. That would be a 12-7 victory for the Jags. Of course, Trevor Lawrence did not play in this game. Former Patriot quarterback Mac Jones took over for the Jags, and it was very ugly.
Very ugly. Yeah, Vikings was one of my picks, but we did not a bet pick. I told you about it last week. Okay, let's go into the next one. Steelers Commanders.
Yeah, Steelers and Commanders, another great game. Two teams on the uptick here. Steelers with a 28-27 victory, newly acquired. Mike Williams makes a big touchdown catch from Russell Wilson to get the Steelers ahead, and they held on.
I like the Commanders there, but the Steelers are playing very good ball, and they're scoring. But we did not bet that one. Let's get to the one we bet.
Yeah, that would be
we bet.
Yeah, that would be the Falcons and the Saints. Falcons were -3 here. 20-17. The Saints took the win.
That was a game. If I had to re-handicap, I would pick again. I gave offense, defense, and special teams to the Falcons, especially their kicker is
Younghoe Koo.
Yeah,
who had been great. I think they said he made like
48 in a row.
Yeah, 48 field goals in a row inside of 40 yards. And of course, he was a mess in this one.
And he was a 4-1 the week before, right?
Well, the last time they played the Saints, he was 4 for 4 in field goal attempts.
Field goals. He was 1 for 4 this one. How do you miss 3 field goals in a row?
Yeah, and then I'm kind of surprised too, even going off that on a 4th down when he's already missed 2 field goals that they didn't try and go for it, considering he had been struggling throughout the game already.
I can't figure out. I didn't think the Saints played that well. Did you?
The Saints played awful. They scored 3 points in the second half. They did everything to let the Falcons back into the game, and I mean, if he does his job, I mean, listen, I guess I'll give him a little bit of a break on a 56-yarder. Definitely not a give me. But he gets a 38-yard field goal blocked. He misses a 46-yard field goal as well. I mean, you make any of those. And
we were on the right side with the number because we betted at 3 and went to 3.5 and 4.
Yeah, so.
I would bet that game again. I just can't figure out what happened there.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but I mean,
Broncos and Chiefs went the way we expected. Broncos 14, Chiefs 16. I like the Broncos not to cover, but not the Chiefs not to cover, but the Broncos not to win. At 4 stars next to that. We didn't bet that one, but that was a good game. Any addition to that?
No, I mean, listen, the Broncos should have won the game outright. They had a field goal blocked with, 5 seconds left in the game.
And like a 38-yarder, right?
Yeah, no, I think it was 36 yards. And
36 yards.
Chiefs just bull rushed the left side of the field goal protection and blocked it to sneak out with a 9-0 record now.
49ers Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's a 23-20 win for the 49ers. Definitely a closer game than people expected. CMC is back. I wouldn't say he's back to 100%, but Mr. McCaffrey is definitely back and playing on the field and, doing his thing, running, catching the ball as well. So
I had like the under in there, and it went under, opened 47.5, went to 50.5. I don't see why, but went the way I expected. Okay, next you got the Patriots at the Bears.
Yeah, Patriots 19-3 win here. I guess a little bit surprising, just with an outright win at least. Bears offense has not been good the last couple of games, and they were definitely the Boo Birds were out in Chicago.
I don't see why they were 7, but I put 4 stars next to Patriots. Reason we didn't pick that as a bet is 2 very bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, putting your money on the Patriots and a rookie quarterback.
Titans Chargers.
Titans Chargers, like you said, 27-17 victory for the Chargers in that one. We go
7.5 was too much to lay, but I like the Chargers.
Go over to the Eagles and the Cowboys. Of course, a classic rivalry. Eagles big blowout win here, 34-6. As we said last week, no Dak Prescott. Looks like his season is actually going to be over with that hamstring injury. It looks like he needs surgery, so speedy recovery. But a lot of turmoil going on with the Cowboys right now. Wide receivers fighting with the owner. Not a good time.
A lot of personnel, just no performance.
Yeah, no, they got players, just not putting it together. I was gonna say, speaking of not putting it together, that would be the Jets at the Cardinals. Cardinals with another blowout victory here, 31-6 over the Jets. Defense has been awful for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers looks old and not very good. It's just kind of a mess.
Okay, we have the Lions at the Texans. That was another bet we put that we lost. What was your take on that, Ant?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Lions played well in the second half. The Texans didn't score. It was 23-7 going into the half. Jared Goff had 4 interceptions on the season.
5. Yeah, but he had 5 that night.
That's what I'm saying. He had 4 interceptions on the season. He hadn't had any interceptions in the last 5 games. And he throws 5 in one game. He throws 3 in the first half, albeit one of them being on a Hail Mary. But crucial interceptions too, just because, coming out of the half, the Lions get an interception, they get the ball right back.
And there was a fumble too.
So it was.
I would bet that game again.
Listen, if he throws 3 interceptions instead of 5, I think the Lions win that game big.
Texans don't score a point in the second half.
No, not one. Not a singular.
They missed a field goal.
Yep. So, I mean,
I wish the Lions would have missed that field goal because it would have made them go for the.
Yeah, the Texans made the field goal and then, would have made the Lions go for the touchdown, hopefully,
yes.
or stay at 23-23 and take your chances in overtime of them scoring a touchdown. But unbelievably bad breaks, I will tell you that.
I can't forget the experience, remember the lesson, but I don't know what the lesson is. Points are right, offense, defense, special teams. Well, I think it's home team underdog, but they didn't play well.
No,
Either team.
No, I was expecting a great game because of the two teams. It ended up being a good game because of the comeback, but it was some sloppy, terrible football, to be honest with you.
And we have the Dolphin Ram game tonight. We're broadcasting to you on a Monday night. My brother have an open heart surgery 6 a.m. We usually come to you on a Tuesday. So let's go over week 11.
Yes, let's start off with week 11. That would be the Commanders at the Eagles. Eagles open and stayed as 3.5-point favorites. That over under from 50 down to 49.
I kind of like the Eagles there.
Well, interesting stat I saw before we came in. Commanders undefeated against teams under 500. They are 0-3 against teams over 500. So might be taking advantage of some lower echelon teams and losing to the better ones. So something to watch out for. And the Eagles are playing some damn good football right now.
Really good. They're motivated.
We go to a divisional showdown again with the Packers and the Bears. Classic rivalry, of course. Packers open 2.5. That went all the way up to 6.5. with the poor performance the Bears had on Sunday. Total from 45 actually down to 41.5.
Usually divisional games are like home team underdog. In this case, I can't say that. I think 6.5 is too much to lay, but I lean towards the Packers. But 6.5 is too much of a risk.
Yeah, definitely a lot of points. We go to the Browns and the Saints. Saints opened 1.5. That went up to 2. Not big there. And then over under from 42 to 44.
You have any thoughts there?
I would not put my money anywhere near a Jameis Winston-led team or this Saints team right now. We go over to the Rams and the Patriots. Rams opened and stayed at the dreaded 5.5.
That's a
And
dead line, but I like the Rams there.
yeah, and that total from
But
40.
I don't want to say anything to see how the Rams play tonight.
Yes, very important. Obviously, like you always say, I don't even know how they're putting lines out.
I don't know either, but they are. But I don't know how they can evaluate a 5.5 before the Rams perform tonight. So why don't we put that on hold? If the Rams win tonight, I mean, I don't know how they can set a line without them winning or losing tonight.
And obviously the most important thing, staying healthy throughout the game. So
Okay, Ravens against the Steelers.
yeah, Ravens open 3.5. That's down to 3. And that total from 44.5 up to 47.
I like the Ravens in that game very much, even though it's home team underdog. I like laying the 3 there. I think the Ravens, the Steelers got a great defense. Their offense is coming around, but that Raven team is explosive.
Yeah, I mean, we say it every week. Lamar, Derrick Henry, they traded for Deontay Johnson.
And that's a division game. I think the Ravens are going to bring their best game.
Yeah, I mean, this is for the division title, basically. They're both right there at the number 1 spot.
Yeah, Pittsburgh 7-2. Ravens are 7-3, so they need to pull this one out if they want the number 1 seed. And I believe the Ravens are the best team in football right now.
Fair enough.
I mean, the Chiefs are undefeated, but they squeaked out a few. And, I don't know. And the Lions, what they showed me the other night is
you only go as far as your quarterback sometimes.
I can't understand 5 interceptions in one game against the Saint defense.
And he kept throwing it downfield, which was
ridiculous.
People are wide open underneath. Anyway.
He had to dump off all night because of the way the running game works. Why he went long, I don't know. You can't take nothing away from that running game.
No. I think they have the best 1-2 punch in the league. Raiders at the Dolphins. Dolphins opened 7.5, went down to 7. Total from 45 to 45.5. So nothing too crazy.
I'd like to see how the Dolphins do tonight before
Another one you got to put on hold because they're putting lines out before you can even determine anything.
7's a lot of points, though. 7.5's a lot of points, but we'll see what happens. All right, Jaguar at the Lions.
Well, you were talking about a lot of points. And Lions open is 10.5, and this is now a
13-point game.
Yeah. 50.5 down to 47.5.
I mean, I think the Jaguar defense is better than the Saints defense.
I'd have to get back to you, honestly.
I think it's better.
Okay. I mean,
if Goff comes in and wants to throw to the other team, what are you going to do?
Yeah. If he has another 5 interception performance, that'll be quite the talking point. 10 interceptions in 2 games, imagine. Definitely.
The Jaguar defense is nowhere near the Lions defense. God bless that defense. They were great.
All over the place in that game in the second half.
It's a 13 points up from 10.5. That's a lot of points. I just don't think the Jaguars got the horses, but it depends on how Goff plays.
Yeah, and I would assume that means that Mac Jones is probably playing in this game as well, because I find it hard to believe with Trevor Lawrence they'd be a 13-point dog.
Yes.
We go over to the Vikings and the Titans. Vikings opened up 5.5 up to 6.5, and then that total from 41.5 actually down to 39.5.
I like the Vikings a lot in that game.
Yeah, Titans are just not playing well this year.
No. And the Vikings are playing good ball.
Yeah, no. Sam Darnold's still doing his thing. Colts at the Jets. Jets opened 3.5, went to 3, total stuck right there at 44.
I like the Jets. They're laying the 3.
Fair enough. We shoot it over to the 4 o'clock slate. Not too many this week. Only 3, I believe. The Seahawks at the 49ers. 49ers opened 6.5. It stayed there. And the same with the total. Opened at 49, and it is still there.
I believe Christian McCaffrey is back this week.
He returned last week to the lineup, so he'll be playing again this week.
And they had a few other people come back, correct?
Debo's been back. George Kittle, I wouldn't say that they've come back, but they've gotten healthier over, where we've seen them at before. Debo's 100%. Kittle looks to be
playing.
Yeah, no, Kittle looks to be 100%. McCaffrey's back.
He's playing.
They interviewed Kittle after the game and they said, with McCaffrey back, what does it do? And he said, it just opens everything else up. So
he gives 100%, and I'm sure he's 100% better. He wouldn't be in.
Yeah. He had, what was it, Achilles tendonitis or something in both.
It is. I lean and like the 49ers. When they're healthy, I think they have the best roster in football.
Yeah. I mean, left tackle, running back, they're just stacked in a lot of places. We go over to the Falcons at the Broncos. Falcons actually opened up as the 2.5-point favorite. Now the Broncos have switched that into 1.5-point favorites, and the total from 43 up to 44.
Well, I got to tell you, I like the Broncos. They're laying the 1.5.
Yeah, the defense has been playing well. Offense is kind of coming together. We saw that with the Chiefs. They were up 2 scores at one point against them. And the Chiefs' defense is unbelievable.
So we don't have to worry about the Falcons kicking field goals.
No, apparently not.
How do you miss 3 in a row?
I mean,
how do you miss a 38-yarder?
Not only that, it was blocked. Like usually they blocked field goals are because you got to get it low to get it far. It's 38 yards.
They do set it up.
So,
okay, Chiefs Bills.
Yeah, probably the game of the week that everybody's going to be talking about. Chiefs at the Bills. Bills opened 1.5. That went to 2.5. Total from 46.5 down to 45.5. Actually,
I like the Bills there.
I mean, this has been an unbelievable rivalry. Very, very good playoff games. Chiefs, honestly,
I just don't understand how the Bills could be 2.5-point favorites over the Chiefs, even with home field advantage. That's the only thing that's making me a little nervous.
I mean, we did say it. The Chiefs definitely haven't played their best football.
They're still undefeated.
Yeah, I was going to say, although they are 9-0.
Undefeated.
Chiefs defense has been unbelievable. I think it's a top 5 unit in the league. And as long as you got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, I guess you're kind of able to do anything. So great game to watch. I'm very, very excited. Chiefs and Bills always come together and put on good games.
I just like the Bills because they're home. They play good. They give a good performance.
Absolutely.
Bengals at the Chargers. Chargers minus 2. They opened at 1.5 and went to 2. I have to tell you, I like the Bengals there.
Yeah, Bengals offense definitely seems to be coming together.
Yes. They're in unison. They're in sync. And Joe Burrow's doing a good job.
This might be the best Joe Burrow we have ever seen in the NFL, and it's just a shame that the rest of the team isn't holding up. But him and Jamar Chase on Thursday had over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that is quite the connection. Monday Night Football, the final game of the week, obviously. That would be the Texans opening at 5.5. That is up to 7.5, and that total from 43.5 down to 42. Like I said, obviously, no Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush is the quarterback. So, take as you. And also for the Texans.
Coming off the loss.
And the Texans also should have Nico Collins back. He was activated off IR last week. Didn't play Sunday night.
One of the reasons I like Detroit because their quick strike wasn't there.
Yeah. But Nico Collins should be back for the Texans, so their number 1 wide receiver should be available to play in this game.
All right. Anything else?
No. Listen, we're
division leaders. They're all close in their division. Some divisions that are just real bad, and some that are real good.
I mean, yeah, you look at the NFC North. You got an 8-1 Lions team, a 7-2 Vikings team. Definitely didn't see that coming. To be honest with you. AFC North, I feel like, is usually always good.
7-2 Steelers.
Yeah, 7-2 Steelers, 7-3 Ravens. So that division's great. Again,
the NFC North, Minnesota 7-2, Detroit 8-1, Green Bay 6-3, Bears are 4-5. I mean, the Bills are conquering their division.
Yeah, no, that one's done and over with. Bills win again.
Yeah, unless they lose them all. The Commanders, Washington, Eagles. I think the Eagles are very well alive there.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else's Cowboys and Giants, I think, are pretty much out of it, no?
Yes, I would say so.
Texans are 6-4. Colts are 4-6. Jacksonville is 2-8. Tennessee's 2-7. So I think the Texans are not going to have a problem winning their division.
I would also agree with that statement. I mean,
NFC South looks New Orleans Saints is 3-7. Falcons 6-4. Carolina Panthers 3-7. Tampa Bay 4-6. They may not be a winner in that division.
Yeah, it looks like the Falcons are kind of win by default. I mean, that's kind of how the NFC South has been in these recent years. So whoever just can get out of their own way enough times.
You got the Kansas City Chiefs 9-0. You got the LA Chargers 6-3. The Raiders 2-7. And the Denver Broncos 5-5. The Broncos need to win.
Yeah, no, Broncos are definitely still alive. And I mean, obviously, you kind of go up and down the sheet of the AFC. It is definitely not a powerhouse this year. Probably very top heavy. You look at the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, and then from there on, it's kind of just all over the place.
Look at the NFC West is another disaster. Seattle 4-5. Arizona 6-4. What do we got? Los Angeles Rams 4-4. And you got the 49ers at what? 5-4.
Yeah. So, a division that's usually conquered by the 49ers, but with all their injuries, it's been difficult on them. So there's playoff spots to be had, to say the least. A lot of teams are still alive. I mean,
a lot of bad teams.
No, there's especially in the AFC. Like I said, you have the 4 division winners, and then everything else from there is an absolute mess.
An absolute mess. I still can't get off golf for 5 interceptions. Not that I'm holding on to it. I mean, if I had, I would bet that same game again.
Yeah, listen, like I said, hindsight's 20/20. Obviously,
you're going to lose. The first thing you learn about handicap is you let it go. Forget the experience. Remember the lesson. But what was the lesson? In either of those games.
I can't even tell you.
I hadn't thrown an interception in 5 games.
You had 4 on the season. You threw 5 in one game.
The field goal kicker for the Falcons missed 3 field goals. He made his last 48.
It was, yeah. I mean, that was those 2 games were pull your hair out type of games that you just look at and just can't believe what you're watching. At least for me.
See, I'm not a Monday morning quarterback. You put your bets in. After the game's over, it's very, very easy to see you should have did this, you should have did that. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. You don't know. You put the bets in the best way you can with the most data and information you can get. But I got to tell you.
That's what I'm saying. There's no data you look at. It's not like a player played that we didn't think was going to play, or, there was weather conditions we didn't know about. It's, a kicker who has been great.
Listen, on the Rams-Minnesota game, I bet it early, but we were supposed to buy it back, but I was at the doctor. That one was a flip-flop. The Seattle game, you can understand it because they played 3 games in 11 days, but I still thought they would perform. 2 mistakes. Other than that, I don't see mistakes.
No, like I said, I'm more than confident in the 2 that we had this week, and I
we concurred on it.
Yeah, I mean, how are you're never going to know that somebody's going to miss 3 field goals and another guy's going to throw 5 How many games have you ever seen in the history of the NFL where somebody threw 5 interceptions?
I don't think it's happened since 1970.
I mean, I remember Nathan Peterman threw a bunch
4.
against the Chargers.
4.
Yeah, I think he threw 4 and he got benched in like the first quarter.
5.
I mean, 5 in the game, like.
The Hail Mary, I could say.
Yeah, the Hail Mary, whatever. But
it's still 5.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If he throws 2.
If he throws 3.
Throws 2 or 3, they're fine. If the Atlanta kicker makes 2 out of 4 field goals instead of 1 out of 4, they're fine.
That Detroit defense held them to 0. Nothing, just like I anticipated.
Detroit defense held the Texans to 0 in the second half. The
Falcons, 3 interceptions in the second half, too.
And the Falcons defense held the Saints to 3 points in the second half.
Yeah.
So both teams had the entire second half. Obviously, the Lions come back and win the actual game, but lose by the hook. And then
I'm not arguing it because I picked it, but I bet it, I lost it. But I was dead on balls accurate. It was the freakiest thing I've ever seen in both games.
Nice. Like I said, I will.
I would trade both those players. How do you explain it? What do you say?
just terrible days at the office, I guess.
No
I don't
such
even.
thing. A professional athlete supposed to come to perform. You can't get out of the way. 5 interceptions. And I believe that no team that's ever thrown 5 interceptions has won a game since 1970.
Yes,
I think there has been 5 interceptions.
It was, they put the stat up at the end of the game that no team trailing by 15 or more with 5+ turnovers had won a game since 1970.
Yeah.
So,
well, they had more than 5 with turnovers. They had 2 fumbles, too. Not only did he throw interceptions, he fumbled the ball a couple times.
Yeah, I don't.
It was just so much I couldn't comprehend it. Just remember, we're going to be here for baseball. We have an edge there. The most dangerous bet is a 2-team parlay with 2 money dogs in it. 1 money dog is treacherous, too, because you only have to win 1 out of 4 to make money. Used to be 1 out of 4. They're robbing you with the take back on the lines. We'll go over that in baseball season. But Anthony has everything I need to fill the gap to be able to bet a baseball season. So I'm looking forward to that because we can put their lights out.
Long season.
Yeah, long season. Not just that. 2 money dogs on a parlay exponentially. I mean, little risk, big return. Like I said, it used to be 1 out of 4 to make good money. 1 out of 3, you'll do the same now because they're robbing you on the take back. Okay, Chris Colombo, Anthony Conover. We'll be here for you next week. Hang in there. We're going to get them. Good night.